Hello, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone where you're located. This section is going to be concentrating mostly about diverse SASE on-premises and unified security models. My name is Matthew Yakov, and I'm a system engineering manager of the Special Ops team at Person Networks. So first, great security starts with great networking. I'm not going to go into details of the networking of SD-WAN platforms and everything because we're mostly concentrating on the security today, but just to show you a couple of specialties or maybe very interesting differentiator points which we have compared to all of our competitors, here's the brief architecture of the Versa Networks on-prem solution, SASE on-prem solution. First of all, we have a headend which controls everything and we have multiple branches. The interesting part is that the only part which is exposed to the internet is going to be the controller. All other components are protected behind controller and located in customers' networks because we can deploy our headends not only in the cloud but also on premises of our clients. And that's why especially federal customers and other customers who are very concerned with their security and might not be able to trust public clouds prefer to deploy their headends on their premises. But if we're going to check how the connection is actually happening, the control plane, which is being built between the branches and the controllers, is based on the IPsec over VXLAN. So technically, it is also SD-WAN solution, SD-WAN network, which allows you to failover between different types of networks like MPLS, internet, or maybe multiple internets. And we have a single IPsec tunnel over each of them. For the control plane exchange of the information, we're using BGP, and this is real, regular BGP, RFC compliant, and this is one of the biggest differentiators that we have, which is especially useful when you're trying to achieve something like PCI DSS certification or maybe HIPAA or any other, which needs to be compliant with the RFCs as much as possible. So we decided not to reinvent the wheel, to use existing proven on the industry standards such as BGP to exchange all the information between the branches. But now, how all of this utilized and what are the security mechanisms we provide for the management plane and for the logging of the information? To manage all of these devices, we use netconf, which is going to be encrypted over SSH, which is going to be using the same tunnels which are already organized between branches and controllers. First of all, this gives us additional scalability possibilities because it's going to be more scalable because we don't need to have separate individual IPsec connections to different components such as to controller, then orchestrator, then some others, and so on and so forth. We have a single IPsec tunnel which is going between branch and controller or set of controllers. And then this tunnel is used to encrypt the data, which is coming from the management plane and from the login infrastructure. Of course, similarly, the encryption of the logs and all the login information is happening again through the same IPsec tunnels. And for the logging of the information between the branches and between our analytics platform, we use IPFix or NetFlow version 10.0. Any questions here about the security which we use in our control plane, management plane? Next, we're going to talk about the zero-touch provisioning process. Zero-touch provisioning process or the touchless configuration of your devices happens in the following way. When you have multiple branches which are already working in your network, such as branch 2, branch 1, you have your headend, everything is connected, but you want to connect a new branch and bring it into your network. Of course, you're going to purchase this device, if it is a physical device, or maybe you will deploy it somewhere in the cloud. And first thing that this device will do, it will receive the IP address through the DHCP. Using this IP address, device will know that it needs to contact global provisioning server of the Versa. It will authenticate with that global provisioning server using the embedded certificates which are going to be in the TPM module of that device. And based on the serial number which is going to be provided, the global provisioning server will inform this device where it needs to go for the actual final onboarding, like which of the headends should be used. Now, the interesting thing. When this device knows where it needs to connect for the onboarding, it will send a request to the Versa director, to the management orchestration plane of the Versa system, and director would need to push configuration to the branch. But how director knows that it is a legitimate device. Because if it's a physical device, yes, of course, we have a TPM protection and everything is secure. But what if it's a cloud device, or maybe it's a virtual machine? How do we know that this serial number is not spoofed and it is a real serial number and real device which needs to be onboarded, to which we need to give access to our network? For this, we have two-factor authentication mechanism for onboarding. So whenever a device will try to come up, we will inform the group of administrators which are responsible for this region or for this device group of the devices that somebody is trying to onboard and become a part of your network. Do you want to approve this or not? If you're saying that, yes, I want to approve this, you will be given a choice to validate your authenticity via email or via text message. And of course, if you are able to prove this, the device will be onboarded. So let's go and have a small demonstration on how this will be happening. So this is the Versa director, and let me make it a little bigger. When we create a new devices, let's say that we will create a new device which needs to be onboarded. So let's say that this device is going to be security day 01. We're going to say that this device has a serial number. Let's see which serial number I have in the cloud. For example, this one with this serial number. And we want to make sure that when this device will be onboarded, it will receive certain template and it will be authenticated using two-factor authentication. So we're going to give the name of this device group security field day 01. Now, interesting thing, how it should be authenticated like a second factor authentication in addition to the credentials which were already given by the global provisioning server. So first of all, I'm going to give my email address, and second, I'm going to provide my phone number. Okay, I hope by exposing this phone number, I'm not going to receive as many calls, and in the Squid Games, some guys received. Anyway, we deployed the device group which contained template, which contained information that we need to use two-factor authentication, and provided credentials of the people who need to authenticate this device. Next thing that system will ask us is the location of this device. Let's say it's just the United States. And lastly, we need to provide information of the data which needs to be put in the variable in the template. So let's say that this is going to be this data, and we're going to click deploy. The configuration is ready for the branch to be onboarded. Now let's actually trigger the onboarding of the branch.
Hey, it's Remington. Can I jump in for just a quick question in relation to this? So you, in the demonstration you just ran through with adding a device, I noticed there's a section for something like a subscription or a time period, essentially. What happens if the user selects a period that's longer than maybe what they have purchased or what they're supposed to be licensed for? So just as an example, I don't know exactly how the product works for license, but I bought a 1-year license and I clicked 3 years. What happens in that case, or is that drop down limited?
You mean in here?
The period, yeah, right there, sir. Yeah.
So this is the subscription period which will be assigned to the device right after it onboarded. So it's not something that we're giving for the device from this moment. As soon as it's onboarded, we're giving this subscription and this period for this device to function.
I see. And I can't select options there that would be different from what I would have purchased at the time that I purchased the device. Is that right?
The way how the subscription works, you purchase a list or the number of licenses that is going to be available to your director. And if that license is available on your director, of course, we're going to take it from the pool. If it's not going to be available in the list or in the pool of the licenses from the director, we're going to still allow it to be onboarded, but we're going to say that it's out of compliance. And this will be informed to us that it is out of compliance, and probably there needs to be a communication with the sales team to somehow adjust this.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, anyway, so I just launched the onboarding, and here in the task messages, we see that device security day 01 connected, and we sent an email to me to do a verification for the two-factor. So actually, here's the email which I received. email saying that device with this serial number, with this name, is trying to be onboarded. Do we want to approve it or claim this device? I'm going to click claim. And here is the new window which was opened, and it's going to tell how do I want to verify myself, whether through the email or maybe through the text message. Let's say text message because we already tried email. And let's wait for the text to come. Here it is, 941019. Congratulations, device is continuing to be onboarded. And if we're going to refresh this page, it's going to show that, yes, device continued to be onboarded, and it's actually now receiving the configuration and will soon become a part of the SD-WAN network.
I'm not sure if you answered the subscription part, but what happens when the license expires? Do we have any connection interruption, tunnels, or anything?
So if the license expires, director will be taken offline. Each device, each of the VersaOS devices has a trial period of how long it can work and function without having connection with the licensing server which exists on the Versa director. Usually it is, if I'm mistaken, 90 days. So if within 90 days there is not going to be connection to the Versa director, to the orchestration plane, system will limit the number of sessions which are going through the VOS device to the 30. So it's still kind of going to be operational, but not to the enterprise level.
Okay, some kind of the policing will be applied then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, and once again, if you would like to see information or see any demo of the Versa SASE, please feel free to go to the versanetworks.com/demo and request demo of what we can show to you and the security features which are provided by the Versa Networks.